Can the Prime Minister tell us, did the official security vetting he received mention Mandelson's ongoing relationship with the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein?
So clear. Prime Minister.
Yes, it did.
I am sorry. Sorry for what was done to you. Sorry that so many people with power failed you. Sorry for having believed Mandelson's lies.
He will have to be dragged out of number 10. So, I am making them an offer. If they want the change they know the country needs, come and speak to my whips, and let's talk seriously about a vote of no confidence to force the moment.
The Epstein scandal has become much bigger than it was anticipated. The saga has brought many leaders under scrutiny. In recent days, the scandal has shaken British politics to the core, as figures ranging from Prince Andrew to former UK envoy to the US, Peter Mandelson, are mentioned several times in the DOJ's latest trove of Epstein documents. Not just mentions, various disturbing images have also surfaced and are now circulating widely. All the political shakeup is set to cost the job of a very prominent figure in world politics. And no, it's not Donald Trump. Neither is it AG Pam Bondi over long past deadlines for releasing the Epstein files. It's Keir Starmer, in the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. But why is Keir Starmer in the crosshairs when, until now, his name was mentioned nowhere in the Epstein files? The reason is his close aide, Peter Mandelson. Starmer is under intense pressure after backlash over his 2024 decision to appoint Peter Mandelson as U.S. ambassador, despite Mandelson's close links to Jeffrey Epstein. Newly released U.S. Justice Department documents reveal Mandelson maintained close ties with Epstein and shared sensitive UK government information about the 2008 financial crisis after Epstein's conviction. The revelations have sparked anger within Labour and raised serious questions about Starmer's judgment. With growing dissent from his own party following recent missteps, calls for Starmer to step down are mounting. UK's leader of the opposition, Kemi Badenoch, put Starmer on the spot as she asked him point blank in the House of Commons. Was he aware that Mandelson continued his friendship even after Epstein's conviction for child prostitution?
I am asking the Prime Minister something very specific, not about the generalities of the full extent. Can the Prime Minister tell us, did the official security vetting he received mention Mandelson's ongoing relationship with the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein?
So clear. Prime Minister.
Yes, it did. As a result, various questions were put to him. I intend to disclose to this House all of the national security, prejudice to international relations on one side. I want to make sure this House sees the full documentation, so it will see for itself the extent to which time and time again Mandelson completely misrepresented the extent of his relationship with Epstein and lied throughout the process, including in response to the due diligence.
Mr. Speaker, I think it is shocking what the Prime Minister has just said. How can he stand up there saying that he knew, but he just asked Peter Mandelson if the security vetting was true or false? This is a man who had been sacked from cabinet twice already for unethical behaviour. That is absolutely shocking. And that is why later today, my party will call on the government to release all documents relating to Mandelson's appointment, not just the ones the Prime Minister wants us to see. Because this government is trying to sabotage that release with an amendment to let him choose what we see, the man who appointed Mandelson in the first place. Labour MPs now have to decide if they want to be accessories to his cover-up.
Estimating the mammoth scale of the damage, there are a few options through which Starmer could choose to exit, some far more direct than others. Whichever way it goes, there is very little chance that Starmer can go back from the mess. If Starmer chooses the easy way, he could resign, setting off a Labour leadership contest that would take weeks, during which he would likely remain in office. If cabinet pressure or resignations force a swift exit, Labour could appoint an interim Prime Minister. Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy is highly likely to be the replacement. If Starmer goes the hard way and refuses to step down, he could still face an internal leadership challenge, though Labour has little history of forcing out sitting Prime Ministers. His position will be tested soon by the release of files on Peter Mandelson's vetting, which could significantly damage his credibility. Starmer will be counting on the files to reveal the extent of Mandelson's falsehoods. If they fail to do so, the Prime Minister could find himself in serious jeopardy. A series of difficult elections, including a key February by-election and major contests in May, also pose further risks to Labour's grip on power. With potential losses looming and new revelations possible, Starmer's leadership remains on shaky ground. UK opposition leader Kemi Badenoch has called for a no-confidence vote against Prime Minister Keir Starmer over appointing Mandelson as US envoy despite knowing about his Epstein links. Addressing a press conference in London, Badenoch said Starmer won't take responsibility and will have to be dragged out of number 10.
At a time when Britain needs a leader, we have a Prime Minister who makes the wrong decision again and again. For months, I have been pressing the Prime Minister about his decision to appoint Peter Mandelson as ambassador. And yesterday in Parliament, I finally forced him to admit the shocking truth. He knew. He knew that Mandelson had a continuing relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. He knew Mandelson had stayed in his house while Epstein was in jail for child prostitution. The Prime Minister knew all this, and yet he appointed Peter Mandelson anyway to the most prestigious job in the diplomatic service. It is now up to Labour MPs to do the right thing. I know there are many of them who are horrified by what has happened. We saw that in the House of Commons just yesterday. They might now expect the Prime Minister to take responsibility, but we know he won't. He will have to be dragged out of number 10. So, I am making them an offer. If they want the change they know the country needs, come and speak to my whips, and let's talk seriously about a vote of no confidence to force the moment. And he apologized for believing Mandelson's lies. That's not good enough. What he should apologize for is ignoring security advice and vetting that showed him Mandelson should never have been appointed in the first place. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
UK PM Starmer is trying his best to control the situation, but it seems the damage is done. On February 6th, he issued a public apology to the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and said he was sorry for believing Peter Mandelson's lies and appointing him to the envoy position. But it will be interesting to watch whether his own cabinet, the opposition, or the public of the UK buy Starmer's words.
In recent days, serious allegations and serious evidence has emerged concerning Mandelson's conduct, including his relationship with Epstein, a convicted sex offender. It had been publicly known for some time that Mandelson knew Epstein, but none of us knew the depth and the darkness of that relationship. What has come to light has raised serious questions. Information that was not known at the time of his appointment. Before he was appointed ambassador, Mandelson was asked directly about the nature of his relationship with Epstein. He was asked whether he had stayed at Epstein after his conviction. And when, later, further information came to light, he was asked whether he had accepted gifts and hospitality, about whether he had been fully transparent about the relationship. The information now available makes clear that the answers he gave were lies. The victims of Epstein have lived with trauma that most of us can barely comprehend, and they've had to relive it again and again. They have seen accountability delayed and too often denied. To them, I want to say this. I am sorry. Sorry for what was done to you. Sorry that so many people with power failed you. Sorry for having believed Mandelson's lies and appointed him.
As the Epstein files crumble UK politics, US Congressman Ro Khanna took credit for exposing big names, saying he and Republican Congressman Thomas Massie forced the release of the Epstein files. He further challenged the American Congress with a taunt. Britain has dethroned a prince, forced Mandelson to resign, and lost confidence in Starmer. What is America doing to hold the Epstein class accountable?